Dave Rossi is the author of Alphas Die Early. In this interview, he challenges the instinct to blame others when things go wrong, arguing that blame and shame block self-awareness and personal growth. Rossi explains how learning to pause between stimulus and response and taking responsibility for our reactions can change outcomes, reduce conflict, and build emotional resilience.
I think another good point that you talk about in your book and we talked about earlier is when something happens, the first instinct many times is to blame someone else and say, oh, this happened, it's your fault, you need to fix it, you cut me off driving or whatever, right? But you're bringing up another aspect, which is to kind of check yourself and see how you can fix the problem from the inside. Tell us more about it, because again, that's a unique thing that I think it's very interesting and very good, but it's not very common.
Well, if you want to grow, you have to go back to looking at things more objectively. If you blame somebody, you immediately have lost objective reality or objective positionality. You're saying this happened because of that person, and you've instantly cut off any self-awareness or self-actualization. Shame is kind of tied to blame because it's kind of like an internal blame. Shame is you blaming yourself that comes with a judgment and a negative stigma of yourself to lower your self-esteem. Both blame and shame prevent you from seeing things more objectively. The thing that people don't realize is everybody plays a role of where they are in life. And if you blame, you're not able to implement humility or gratitude or choice around ego. So if I get cut off driving a car and I blame them for cutting me off and I have anger, a reactive behavior of anger, they've taken my territory without my authority. They did something that's not socially accepted, so they're to blame for me being angry. The first thing you do is you don't take accountability for your own reactive behavior to change what you feel. Now, there's lots of things you could change. Well, like?
But just a quick on this one. It happened to me so many times that someone cut me off.
Yeah.
And then I'm upset and I'm thinking, why is he doing that? But then I try to take a step back and look at what happened. Maybe a few seconds before, I was driving slow because I was looking at my phone. I was blocking the person behind me. It was without realizing it, completely without realizing it. And then, of course, he cut me off and he's upset, And
you blame him. Well, I think there's lots of ways to recontextualize that, and that's one of them, which is 5 minutes ago was looking at my phone and I was driving slow. I don't blame him. You could also say that poor guy is in a hurry and hopefully he gets where he gets to go safely.
Right.
And I'm happy to sacrifice some space for him. Another thing is, what's the big deal? I mean, really, what is the big deal about someone? Is it really that big of a deal? Is it worth getting in a fight over it? And I think usually, those reactive behaviors can snowball, right? You get into situations where maybe you honk, and then they honk back, and then they get angry, and then all of a sudden they're following you, and it becomes a worse situation. But if you do not stop, and I think Viktor Frankl says this very well in Man's Search for Meaning, between stimulus and response, it's a small moment in time. If you can't grab that small moment in time, stimulus, someone cuts you off. Reaction, you honk back. Stimulus, they cut you off. Reaction, you flip them off. Right? Stimulus, they cut you off. Reaction, you yell at them, where you have anger, right? There's a small little moment in time between that.
That you can make a decision.
Right, and change the course. If you can't grab that small moment in time and say, okay, is it really a big deal? I was on my phone a couple minutes ago, and maybe I just have compassion for this guy and hope maybe his wife's dying. Maybe he's racing. I don't know what's going on. Maybe if I knew his wife was dying, maybe I'd give him a break and let him cut me off 100 times if that was the case. So I think if you can't grab that, you can't recontextualize life. And you can use that in all kinds of examples. People just don't.